international business and investments. Welcome to IBNC UAE. IBMC Financial Professionals Group. UAE India B2B Centre, the gateway of international business and investments.
So he'll be the moderator. Is he a moderator or he's part of the panel?
He's the part of the panel. I'll be the
Moderator. Very good. This one is on 45 minutes. This one is not there. It'll be replaced by Hans Prakash.
Okay, I'll check.
Double check.
The UAE India B2B Centre, the gateway of international business and investments.
You'll need some.
Welcome to IBNC UAE. IBNC Financial Professionals Group.
Good afternoon and welcome back. You still are having energy or feeling a bit drowsy after the lovely lunch? In between, well, stand up, take a deep breath, walk around the hall till I count 10, and then we sit and we start. How about that? All right, take a deep breath, everyone. We'll be commencing in a few minutes. A gentle reminder for the mobile phones to be switched off, as the session is being recorded live and every bit of this data knowledge and data power is being captured globally thanks to the efforts of the IBMC, who have made webinars, seminars, knowledge sharing, financial knowledge platforms available to global audiences. So we will commence the panel discussion in a few minutes. It will be moderated by CBO and Executive Director, Mr. Anup of the IBMC, who will be very dynamic in the session. The topic of the panel discussion revolves around small and medium enterprises, a new era for UAE businesses and investments. Please join me to welcome the panelists. We will first start with the moderator, Mr. Anup, PS, please, followed by Mr. Adnan Mohammed bin Abdullah, founder and managing director of Tekan and Bahanes, followed by Mr. Dilip Pirimat, international factoring and banking expert, director and co-founder of the GTS Group, and last but not the least, Mr. V. Hans Prakash, on foreign investments to India, a special focus on foreign portfolio investments, FPIs, the new regime. We have all heard their dynamic presentations earlier this morning, and the session now will actually bring the issues to light. Please keep your questions ready. Make it as dynamic, as realistic, as original as possible. This is a serious business forum. Mobile phones on silent mode, please. Please be seated and have a good afternoon. We aim for the panel discussion to last about 30 minutes with about 7 minutes Q&As, but I'm maximum willing to give it a 40-minute stretch. Over to the moderator. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the UAE India Business Fest, the second sessions, and we start with our panel discussion on the upcoming opportunity, SME, the new era for business and investment in UAE. Let me first welcome our panelist, Sri Dilip Hiramat. He is an ex-banker who was heading the UAE's largest bank, Mashuk Bank, and having a very vast experience in banking, especially the area of factoring, which we already heard the presentation the morning. And we have Mr. Adnan. He is a very dynamic entrepreneur, and he has brought in a lot of innovative concepts in the UAE education technology. We only heard the education technology part in the morning, but he is also actively involved in the agriculture segment, especially the diversifications which is happening in the world right now, the biodiversity and I think organic products. He is having a lot of chain of products in that segment as well, and we'll give a glimpse of that thing as well. And we have Mr. Hans Prakash. Already we heard the presentation in the morning about foreign portfolio investments. Mr. Hans was explaining to us in detail. And we have a very expert panelist available today, and we will try to utilize the maximum possible from their expertise. To begin with, the reason of selecting this particular topic for today's panel discussion is that we all know that recent prime ministerial visits between India and UAE, and on 26th of January we signed 14 treaties between India and UAE. In that, you all would have noticed one particular treaty which is signed is Agreement for Cooperation in Small and Medium Enterprises and Innovation. It is connected not only small and medium enterprises, and it is connected with innovation. That is the topic of treaty signed with regard to SME sector, along with another 13 sectors. Now, here it is already evident that in the government level between India and UAE, there is going to be a large-scale cooperation in the small and medium-sized enterprise. If you look at the size of the market, SME industry in UAE, we have over 400,000 SMEs in UAE, contributing nearly 60% of the GDP of this country. Back in India, if you look at, there is around 48 million SMEs in India. So we are talking about a very huge market, and provided the governments are entering into an agreement, it is giving a further boost for a bilateral business relation. Now, coming back to Dubai alone, Dubai's economy is SME, 40% of the Dubai economy is constituted by SME sector. And coming back to Sharjah, the Chamber of Commerce has released the data like 55,000 SME is in Sharjah. So there are equally important opportunities available between both the countries. And with this backdrop, we will start our panel discussion today. The main point, like SMEs, when we are talking about SMEs, the bilateral treaties, when we hear that the government has signed the treaty, people will normally don't get an idea like what exactly is the business opportunities there. For example, Government of India and UAE has signed agreement 14 treaties. One of the area is road and transport development. Road and transport development, the technology support and other support is given by UAE government to India. This is what is briefly mentioned in this one. But it is opening a very vast area of development. When we look at the infrastructure development which is available in UAE, the kind of roads, the kind of signboards, the kind of other facilities which we are getting in the road and transport system available here, you compare with back in India. Many times the people who have visited India, we would have come across a situation that we would have felt that the infrastructure is not up to the mark. It is not a problem, it's a big opportunity. Because once the road and transport development is happening in India, that itself is opening 1,000 business opportunities. Road marking is a business opportunity. Road construction, there are a lot of machineries required, and UAE has a lot of availability of lot of resources in that particular segment. The latest technology is available here. The road signage boards, the kind of signboards and other things which is available here. For example, from Mumbai to Bangalore, a golden quadrilateral, a big highway is coming in. Just imagine the kind of business which is coming even on the signboard making, the signal lights, the signal systems. Forget about all these things. When you look at the kind of infrastructure we are getting in this particular segment along with the roads, we have the petrol pumps. Along with the petrol pumps, there are certain service stations available here. The car maintenance, tire changing, along with that supermarkets are available. When a new development is happening, infrastructure development back in India, all these facilities, what you see here, this also can be replicated there as well. These things government will not be taking care. This is to be taken care by the small and medium size opportunities available that the public has to take care of it. Now, coming back to agriculture. Agriculture, India and UAE is going to have a very strong relation and a lot of development is expected to happen there. Now, what is the opportunity coming up there? India, we all know that those who are Indians and who has visited there know that there is very less processing facilities available in India. Whereas in UAE, there is a very sophisticated food processing systems and other available, and they have very good access to the technologies and these things. And this is the support which UAE is going to extend to India. Now, once a crop is being produced, it has to be properly transported. The food processing has to be done. It has to be properly packaged and distributed to the overseas market. There is a lot of supply chain coming in this one. The reefer containers, even the food processing stations, even the packaging, even the white labeling for the international supermarket chains and all. These are all opening a lot of business opportunities. Why I just want to give a glimpse is that when Government of India and UAE signed 14 major treaties, including agriculture, road and transport, all these things, don't think that it is purely connected to something with the government. These treaties, after signing, it is opening 1,000 business opportunities for the small and medium sectors. So that is what, as a community, Indians and UAE nationals and the other business entities which is available, the overseas business community available here, has to reap from this country. So with this particular note, my first interaction with Mr. Adnan, the SME sector, the government is giving focus, agreement for cooperation in small and medium enterprises and innovation. You being a prominent person in bringing in innovative contribution, how do you see India-UAE relations can be further strengthened with the SME sector with innovative contributions bringing into this particular market?
Definitely. Of course, if we look at the 5 years back when there was the new initiatives of supporting, I mean, it was not actually a new initiative, but it's took other way to develop and support the SMEs companies in UAE. There was a lot of categories set into that development plan. One of the main categories is innovation, to bring innovative business into the country. Now the question is, how big is and how strong is the UAE SMEs in doing and delivering these categories and these initiatives? Of course, the movement of signing the MOU with the Indian government opened up the thoughts more here. We do have a neighbor country who has a good resources, who had a good knowledgeable people over there, who they have a good territories they can work on. There's manufacturers over there. There is also other SMEs with initiatives. So the link in between the UAE SMEs and Indian SMEs is to bring up these innovative businesses and ideas with the help of the Indian market and Indian SMEs. So bringing them together, that bring them to achieve the initiative and the ideas.
And it's also in the treaty, it is mentioned that they are also emphasized on the research and development in the related activities related to SME. So I think the university level and other things, UAE has taken many initiatives for bringing up upcoming the startup zones and other things, which is giving a lot of innovative concepts to bring in.
Yes, pointing out if the UAE is looking for a better, let's say, health care, if they are looking for better hospitals, for better doctors, for better healthcare services, then this is one of the sectors where the UAE can look at the India market and see what is how does the health sector looks like there, and we are sure that in India there is a good base of health sector there, and there is lots of doctors and lots of people who have graduated and they have the background and good skills in health sector. This is one side. The other side, the agricultural side. Today, frankly speaking, like if we look at the business here, sometimes mainly if we want to search for organic food and healthy food, we do look at the other countries as well in the West. Why? Because we haven't found something being invested really in India. So the question is, why is not being invested when India has very good lands there and they have resources where they can be manufactured and, as you said, then can be the product can be made and packed and delivered. So all the supply chain can be made through there to UAE and then through UAE to the world. So that is also a big opportunity over there. This is mainly the sector. There's lots of segments and sectors.
That is a very important point noted, because Mr. Adnan, being one of the key player in the organic foods imports to UAE, you mean to say that the majority of this organic products are coming from outside Western countries and all?
Yes.
But India being one of the largest producers, there is no processed foods available in organic segments.
Yeah.
So that could be one of the key area where, based on the bilateral treaties, the things can be developed. I think, Mr. Hans, we have the Ministry of MSME back in India. They're taking a lot of efforts in bringing up the SME sector back in India. Can you just give a glimpse, like what is the future potential of Indian SMEs within Indian opportunity?
So, as you rightly mentioned, whether it's UAE or India, these small and medium-scale enterprises contribute a large to, to the entire economy as a whole. Now I'm just giving example, you have a huge Maruti plant, for example, in Gurgaon, right? So to support those plant, okay, you need a lot of ancillary units to be set around, right? These are what? These are largely small and medium scale enterprise which are doing various jobs, right? Isn't it? So the point is, and the point is that not everything can be done by the by large industry. Okay, even if you look at the banking sector in India, what the Reserve Bank, what the Indian regulator is looking at is how to reach the small scale rural sector, right? So would a large bank be interested in getting into a smaller town or smaller, very small, what do you call, a village? There are 5.95 lakh villages in India, right? Imagine the entire village, the entire 5.95 lakh villages are almost covered by telecom. But there is still a gap in terms of banking, right? So what I'm just trying to say is, maybe we are just scratching the surface, in the metro areas with these large, companies giving their products. But there's a lot of requirement which is there, okay, in the rural and mid-tier level, which can be complemented only by small and medium-scale enterprises. Maybe a large enterprise wouldn't be very interested in getting into these segments, possibly. Very few large companies think from the perspective of the small package. Something like Hindustan Lever thinking about selling their biscuits or some of their items in rural areas, or for example what they call Coca-Cola getting into smaller town. But I'm saying there's a huge opportunity which is available, and now to somehow tap that opportunity, okay, from the financial sector onwards, okay, till the manufacturing, okay, government is trying to push. That's why you see banks like Bandhan Bank. Would you have ever thought that somebody who's who's into such a small time this thing, those guys are getting banking licenses today? It is happening because what government is thinking today is this mindset of getting into tier 2, tier 3 towns is very, very important. Okay, and that's why it's happening. That is one part. Okay, now in addition to what I'm saying, I was just taking, hearing Mr. Adnan. Okay, what I feel is, it's if you're saying there is treaty signed between UAE government and Indian government for SME thing. Okay, there's a huge potential because India per se is a huge consumption story. We were hearing Satya in the morning, and he said 85% of our proceeds is consumed internally in India itself. So I'm saying for the for UAE SME segment, it opens a huge opportunity in Indian market. They actually can collaborate with Indian players, SME players in India, and try and complement them. Maybe there's a technology gap. Okay, maybe there's a gap in terms of understanding. Maybe there's a research gap. You don't have money, okay, to do that kind of research, and that research is available over here. And the reverse is equally true. Okay, there are a lot of things, as he rightly pointed out. In India is very good in agriculture. India is very good in healthcare. There are a lot of stuff that can happen. Okay, in terms of the mutual cooperation, right? So wherever there are gaps, I think those gaps need to be filled up between these two countries, and we need to move forward. And as far as India is concerned, it's there in the thought process. Even I the way our honorable Prime Minister looks at the business opportunity today is to look at the small and medium scale enterprise, because if they don't grow, okay, we are just growing the top key surface. That's about it. The key top companies growing, the GDP growing in major towns, but we have to carry the entire ecosystem along. If these people don't grow, like for example, textile industry in Coimbatore, okay, so if these people are not given incentives, if these people are not banked well, if these people are not given proper financing, okay, the economy per se wouldn't develop. So I'm saying that on that side, there's a huge initiative which is anyway happening in India in terms of their growth. So I just give an example of banking because it's the easiest way to understand. I'm just forgetting the name of the bank, but this December, one of the banks got a license. I'm just forgetting the name. I'll come back to you on this. Okay, it's just taking care of very, very small, loans to, entities or small scale entities, small and medium scale enterprises who are not even given a loan by the banks. And their book is 12,000 crores in Indian currency terms. So I'm saying they have got, a special banking license. So I'm saying the thought process is very, very clear. Thought process is to ensure that they come into the mainstream.
Thank you very much, Hans. That is very informative, this thing. In fact, the government of India is taking many steps to make sure that the reach to that bottom level is being ensured. Like that, many activities has been taken. Mudra Bank is one of the initiative, and the recent banking license, as mentioned, that is also a very good initiative. My question to Dilip sir is that being a person who knows both the markets in UAE as well as India, there in India, recent past we have seen a rise in number of non-banking financial companies. NBMCs are coming and giving small loans and other things. As per the government initiative, Mudra Bank has come, and the new initiatives, new banks are getting licensed and other things. How do you see the outlook of UAE banks towards the SME sector in this region? I think it is a very hot topic because many people would have already felt the heat of SMEs being closed down and other things. But on the other hand, there are a lot of opportunities coming in, and there are a lot of financial models which is evolving, which is supportive of SME sector. So how do you see the overall financing aspect of SME?
Hello. Yeah, that's a very interesting thing you brought up, Anup. Frankly, I would personally, in my personal business, I would be probably doing 1/10 of what I'm doing if it wasn't for the NBFCs that are operating, both in DIFC and for those who are out of UAE, that's the Dubai International Financial Center. Huge inroads have been made by UAE in this sphere. Last year, arguably the FDI into UAE was in the region of about $13 billion. Okay, and in the scheme of things, it was supposed to be getting into healthcare, into alternative energies, nuclear, solar, etc. In actual fact, what happened is a large chunk of this FDI actually went into financial intermediation companies. Right? I mean, it was quite an eye-opener. While there has been a lot of stress, of course, on the financial part of this sphere in the UAE, not many are aware of the extent to which the FDI that came into UAE went into actually servicing this sector, and that's and actually great opportunities were thrown up. See, because you have at one level you have the strategy, okay, which is so it's great initiative by both the leaderships of both countries in fostering this. Then you have at a much granular level the smaller players getting into it, and that goes by actual. I'll in fact digress from here. I'll take you all back 30 years ago when I came to the UAE. The largest non-oil trade was actually garment manufacture, okay, for UAE, and most of that exports were going to the US. Now US took a strategic decision that they wanted to get imports from only 3-4 countries in the world, Mexico being one because there was a lot of illegal immigration, Kenya because they wanted to develop Kenya. Now that's a strategic level decision, yeah. But they took certain steps. The quota system that used to operate over then was abolished immediately. Most preferred nation or most preferred trading partner was brought into place. Overnight, I saw the entire garment manufacturing industry in the UAE absolutely closing down, okay, and shifting to places like Kenya, Jordan, and all, which were the most preferred. And it certainly served the purpose of the US in the sense that, illegal immigration from Mexico came to a grinding halt. Why I'm bringing this and what the relevance of that is there is that at one level you have a strategic, then you take decisions, And it's the SMEs, it's all the SMEs that I saw over here suddenly transporting themselves into these other countries, overnight. Okay, so at two levels, it has to be addressed.
Any articles related to these things. Can anyone say that, like, what is the opportunity which the government is giving to the UAE SME sector connected to Expo? There are certain reservations already made. Can anyone cite that? Great. 20%, it's not 10%, it is 20%. Under the Expo 2020 spending, 20% of the total spending is reserved for SME sector alone. And he has rightly mentioned, like, there is another tender which is coming for the superstore of the future. A superstore of the future, it is nearly 3,000 square meter outlet which is coming for the Expo 2020. In that, they are going to take the tender for nearly 5,000 products. And this is purely for the SME sector. So there is a very big opportunity coming up along with Expo 2020 for the SME sector, connected with the Expo 2020. And right, Mr. Adnan was mentioning, along with that, there are a lot of other opportunity, especially in the healthcare and related opportunities. And Sharjah, we have to clearly mention, Sharjah Healthcare City has been mentioned as the largest healthcare city by the World Health Organization, which is coming up by 2019-20 is the commissioning, I think. The development is going on. So there are a lot of upcoming opportunities coming in here, which the business community has to really look into, like, what exactly is the proper business opportunity coming in there. And there, Mr. Adnan, like, connected to Expo, do you want to add some more point to the SME sector government initiatives or something?
Yes, the government, they always speak to us. They inform us about what's going to happen in Expo 2020. They send us an information, they send out the business opportunities over there. So there's different sectors or different investment opportunities there in Expo 2020. Imagine it is like a new city is building up on the side of Dubai, which will need the same facilities available in Dubai. So if we're gonna say we're gonna replicate this services over there, then we will need hospitals, we will need schools, we will need hotels, we will need shops, we will need malls. All of these kind of businesses opportunities are there. So the government, yes, they're seeking out actually from the UAE SMEs to help them actually to be a part of this development.
I would like to add one more point to what Adnan has said. Just because even Hans Prakash and even Dilip sir also was mentioning about the textile industry, we had an opportunity to have a meeting, myself and Adnan, with Dubai DP World. Yeah. The new upcoming project it is coming is that there is a textile city coming in. A textile city, we all know, near to Dragon Mall it is coming. There is a textile mall coming in. It's a new initiative, a new program designed by the government. It is not for retail, it is purely B2B. Only the wholesale business community, one particular mall. Yeah. To connect the business from 180 countries, the wholesale will be brought under one particular thing. Yeah. So there is a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises will be getting a chance to come and showcase their products and other things in that particular mall. It's the wholesale initiative. Yeah. So like that, I think UAE is bringing in innovative concepts. Again, we are going back to the same concept of innovation. This country is taking initiative, and it is us to go and see that what is the opportunity coming in. Of course, IBMs will be able to give you a lot of upcoming things and projects which is coming from the government side and the private side. And one of the key point was raised by Mr. Hans and Dilip sir is that the financing part. Even though there is a lot of development happening in the NBFC kind of arrangements and the private financing and all these things, do we need a proper structured stock market? In India, we have a very interesting news that has come is that how many of us know that there is an SME index in India, like BSE has an SME sector? We have in Bombay Stock Exchange, we have the SME sector, and since 2017 beginning until now, there are 32 firms that has come up with their IPO in SME sector in India. And the interesting fact is that out of this 32 firms, 9 firms, the IPO was oversubscribed by 15 times or more. So the kind of interest public is having in the SME sector, the thing is that the size is small, but the growth potential is very high. Provided their business model is really good, the public is really interested to invest in these particular projects. So I think UAE is also taking initiatives in particular direction of starting, I think, startup exchange. Of course, we have a session coming in for the day. It will be very, very important. And along with that, for the medium-sized enterprises to get listed, government is also taking initiative. Mr. Hans, how do you think that this kind of initiative from the government level will add value so that the public will get a chance to participate in the growth stories of the upcoming SMEs?
Right. Now, just don't quote me, and I think you should censor this out. So the point is, so you invest, you put your money in a big bank, right? In the sense you put your fixed deposits, you put your investments in a big bank. The bank decides where to put this money, right? So the understanding of the bank largely is they will try and put money in big companies. A lot of small companies which have opportunities, nobody even listens to them, right? They're sitting somewhere in some corner. There's a huge potential, right? Like Patanjali, for example, Baba Ramdev's Patanjali, for example. It's giving a run for money to companies like even Hindustan Lever. Where did it start? It started in a small place called Haridwar in India. Nobody took them as a serious business until now, when they are clocking few thousand crores of volume, given a run for money to all the large companies. So the point is, you have products, you have potential, but maybe the large part of banks don't look at them. So what do? Right? It's the same thing that was there with Indian companies long back, when they didn't have a proper banking channel to raise money from. So what do? The public wants to invest. Okay, they know things are growing over here, so they go to stock market, right? So the initiative by the exchanges to list these companies is actually a beautiful initiative to get these cash, strapped, companies getting funds at a very, very cheap rate, right? And so basically, when raising money, it's just inviting someone into shareholding. So basically, you're getting these people into the shareholding of system, and then as a company grows, their investment grows. So I'm saying it's a very cheap source of fund. Plus, those people who have an understanding of the business would definitely try and invest into the business. As you rightly mentioned, not only are these companies getting investment, but I also see a new genre of investment managers growing out of them. So the investment managers who are actually raising funds for them are not so-called key investment managers, the top so-called the Morgan Stanleys of the world. These are also some, small-time investment managers. Okay, so I'm saying the whole ecosystem develops because of them. So there are a set of people who buy this idea, right? And then they invest into it. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of companies which have potential, right? Just imagine a Maruti plant, okay, which is there, and you don't have an SME sector supporting them for various things, okay, like an upholstery or something else, or a music system, okay. So if do you think any large branded company would look into all this? No. You just look at any car manufacturing company. Around it there'll be somebody manufacturing brakes or pistons. I don't understand, but I'm saying the whole thing. Do they have potential or not? Yes. If Maruti is growing, they will grow. But where do they get money from? So these guys have an opportunity to raise funds, okay, and at a very economical rate from the market itself. Simple, by making people the shareholder. That's what big companies did one point of time, right? When you talk about Reliance or somebody else, what did they do? They just went to public, got the funds inside, and have grown. And who knows, maybe one point of time, the kind of companies looking at right now in SME segment, many of them will go up. They'll be a part of the main boards. So that's the whole thought process behind. And it's a wonderful initiative. It's a wonderful initiative because it's giving an opportunity for people who are just looking around the market, okay, to go back and tell, hey, this is my opportunity. This is what I'm doing right now. I have an idea. I have a product. Okay, and the people sitting on the other side who are looking for some such opportunities. So what exchanges are doing actually is, okay, a role of bridging this gap, creating a platform. And you see, I think BSE SMA exchange is a huge success. right? Thank you.
I think that's a very important point, and we'll be getting more insight when we are getting insights on the startup exchange, which topic we'll be covering today. And when it comes to the finance part, I think UAE is sitting on a big cash pile. Even the NRI community, we have 2.5 million NRIs here. Can any of our Indian members here can say that how much is the money we are sending every year to India? I think we have Peter Sarandol, who is from the money exchange, but he is giving mum. It is 15 billion. On an average, $15 billion is the annual remittance from NRIs to India. And in the morning sessions, we would have heard that UAE government has, and I was rightly mentioning, like $70 billion is the total investment committed from UAE to India. So the NRI remittance, 15 billion every year, which means a 5 years remittance, it is equal to that $70 billion. It's a huge chunk. And majority of the funds, we know that it is lying idle in the banks back in India. And again, it is, every NRI has a dream that tomorrow you have to go back and start some, I think you have to say something.
Then, we don't need to depend on the banks. We ourselves can find these SMEs or the opportunities and invest there.
A great thing.
That's not happening.
Yeah, in fact, that is our next question to Dilip sir, who is a banker. There are two ways of utilizing the big chunk of $15 billion which is being routed to India every year. The first option, I would like to get his comment on these options, whether it is workable. First option is that why can't the banks and the institutions here take an initiative to set up an SME fund here? An SME fund which will be investing in the upcoming small and medium-sized enterprises projects in India as well as in UAE. Both the places they will be doing the investment, and they can take the investment from the NRI community. And we all know that for the past 5 years, if you look at the people who have sent money to India, they would have largely lost because of the currency fluctuation, because the currency devaluation is one of the big problems. Currently it is stabilized, but even then the devaluation was a big trouble for them. So rather than going and sending, as you rightly mentioned, in the banks and other things, a productive investment, if somebody is taking a lead, then only it will happen. So the best thing is that the banks or financial institutions here has to take the lead and start a fund. And we also have right now the opportunity that Abu Dhabi Global Market like initiatives has come, whether we can set up the proper fund for the particular sector itself. This one opportunity of tapping this huge chunk of $15 billion going to India, even if we are able to take 10% of that, that itself is 1.5 billion. As far as SMEs are concerned, it is a huge amount because a lot of companies' investment can be made. Second opportunity, which is possible if financial institutions are not willing to go up to that level, is that there are a lot of Indian companies in India, they would like to taste the overseas market. And the benefit of UAE is that this country is connecting with 180 countries, investors and products. So this is a particular point which Indian companies will be of highly interested, because being set up in one particular country, they are getting connected with this much countries. And here the problem which they face is that the cost. And currently, with the new free zones coming in this area, today morning when I was driving the car, I was hearing the advertisement that you can set up a company in 11,500 dirhams. The free zone setup cost is only 11,500 dirhams, which is coming less than 3 lakh rupees currently. So the cost of setting up the business has considerably come down in this particular part. And it's not only the business setup. Apart from that, the Indian companies, if they want to come out and set up their base here, they need further financial assistance and overseas expertise. We already have the NRI built here. Those who are having the overseas expertise, they have the investment surplus also. If we can connect these two things, the people in India who wants to taste the international market and who lacks the investment capacity and overseas expertise, which is available with the UAE NRI community, they have the surplus funds and the expertise in this market. If you're connecting this, there is a huge potential of bringing a lot of SMEs to the free zones over here and connecting to the international market. And this is the opportunity, the second one. So which one do you think that will be a possible model to develop in the future, being a banker, the viability?
Anup, I think you should start becoming part of the government. Yeah? because both are excellent suggestions. You know, both have their merits, and by now you must be knowing I actually give live examples to validate my point. See, to create a fund, what is the difference that the fund will bring as opposed to, say, a bank funding? It is you wear a different hat. It's actually structured for a specific purpose. Okay, the example I'm talking about is like last month. I have a client who came to me. He has about 400 manpower, which he deploys for inspection purposes, right? So they inspect, say, Petrofax construction, or they inspect a bridge that has been built. Now, when he goes to a bank for funding, the bank takes one look at his balance sheet and says, sorry, we cannot give funding because you have no assets on the ground. You don't have stocks, okay? And your balance sheet has a very fine margin, so we don't want to give you funding. I went to a DIFC-based factoring company who looked at they are not bothered about the balance sheet of the SME. They are bothered about where the receivables are coming from. And if it's coming from a company like Petrofac, if it is coming from, the government of Dubai, they feel very comfortable about that. So a fund, an SME fund, will do exactly that. They will tailor their strategy, their policies, their processes to make that end objective, successful. And that is critical because banks are too stymied by regulations, and the MNC banks will be governed by global standards and practices and stuff like that. And that is very limiting for a SME that wants to be up and running, right? So a fund like this is absolutely brilliant, right? The other one, what you said was?
It's connecting the investment and expertise of NRIs with the requirement of setting up an overseas base of Indian companies.
Adoop, in a very informal way, and maybe for the wrong purposes, it's already happening, right?
True.
You see a whole lot of Indian companies using UAE as a springboard to do their exports. Now, it could be misguided that some of the motivation for that is the fact that this is a tax-free environment, right? And there's a huge benefit in sending it from here. But apart from that, I mean, that's just a side benefit. The fact is, a lot of the banking, the international banking, cross-border trade is so well geared from this place. Okay, the port infrastructure is, pretty sophisticated and advanced. The geographical location of UAE is so, strategically positioned to bridge between the east and the west that frankly, this suggestion, Anup, has a tremendous merit. And if it can be formalized and, institutionalized, it can go in leaps and bounds.
We have a wonderful team of people available here, those who are interested into taking it forward. So definitely with coordination from IBMC, I think we can take it to the next levels. And one point I just want to give a little more highlight, which Hans was mentioning, and it is connected to the points which Mr. Adnan was also mentioning, like the upcoming opportunities which is coming already, UAE, the Expo 2020, and the upcoming free zones and other things we have already discussed. And in India, there is a big initiative which is coming is the GST. So the GST, once it is passed in India, the thing is that currently all the states, Indian states, the in-between trade, there is a lot of taxes coming in. So after passing GST, a majority of the taxes are going out, and the interstate trade will be going up like anything. This is a very big thing because each state in India, if you look at in terms of population, it is as good as countries. And we have certain statistics which says that Uttar Pradesh, it is one of the largest states in India. It has 166 million population, which is more than the population of Russian Federation. And it is almost equal to Brazil. And Orissa has a population that is more than Canada. And Chhattisgarh, it is a small state and has population that is equal to even Australia. And the small state, even Kerala, it has a population equal to Canada. So if you look at the Indian states altogether, it is almost equal to one country itself. So by the GST implementation, if the interstate trades are being more smooth trade is coming in India, it gives a very big opportunity for small and medium enterprises to operate within India itself. And another important thing here is that UAE being an international export market, if somebody is making UAE as an international hub, along with Indian opportunity, they can have an international exposure and they can treat it as good as another state, because nearly 973 flights are available in a week between India and UAE. And the flying time is less than 4 hours. For a person who is in Kerala, the time he's taking to reach Delhi, the same time he's taking to reach even UAE. So the kind of infrastructure available right now is very, very suitable for a further business development. And the upcoming opportunity, I think, which is available in UAE, and the kind of implementations like GST and other things which is available in India, these are all things are vital. And added to this point, the government initiative of making the bilateral tie-up in the SME sector between India and UAE, which is opening a huge door of business development in many sectors: agriculture, maritime, education sector, research and development, all these things. We are just saying the topics only, but the opportunity is much, much higher. To support all these things, there are certain financial initiatives needed. For that, the new concept like startup stock exchange and other things is coming up here. And we have the opportunity of utilizing the big NRI funds and all. I'm getting, Niti is looking at me because we are crossing the time frame. So with these things, IBMC would like to take an initiative to bring it into a particular framework. With the support of our business community available here, we will make it a frame, and we will bring to you the opportunities which is coming, the practical opportunities where the real investment is possible and the business expansion is possible between both the countries. And from there, we can take it forward, and together we can contribute to the development of the economy of both India and UAE in the SME sector. Yes. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Before we close up, I have a point, sorry, just to share up with.
Go ahead.
What I would love is, what I'd like to happen is, we can put the entrepreneurs from the UAE and the entrepreneurs from India, put them in one place. For instance, bringing the entrepreneurs from India to the UAE and show them all what you have mentioned, and put them with association with the entrepreneurs in the UAE. That is, my point of view, that will create a trusted line of opportunity that both parties would love to start a business and do a business there. Also, when the UAE entrepreneurs goes to the India, because that is not happening much. We are saying the other way, from India to UAE. Why it's not can be from UAE to India as well? Because there's a lots of opportunity that will benefit both countries. Yeah. And I would allow me to invite the audience and the investors, me being as partnering with IBMC, is they have the knowledge, where the investor can trust them, connecting them to the right field and the right business with the right community. Because this is all what you need, beside all the other services that need to be happen to establish a business or to invest the money in there, plus the funding part, plus the setup part. So all that can be done, because you need someone here who can give you what the conclusion, summary of the market, and make it easy to establish a business here. Thank you.
That's a very important point, and I think Government of India has given a new initiative like 5 years visa, right? For the UAE nationals to visit India, like that initiative is already taken. And I think your offer will be utilized in a better way, because we will be using your contacts to take it further, to bring the relation much more stronger. Thank you very much for that offer as well. And we'll be taking it forward. Thank you very much once again. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists. Thank you, moderator. That was very lively, very dynamic, although I must admit I did see a few eyes resting in the peace of the afternoon, but I think there have been very useful points I strongly urge the audience to make note of it. And as a commentator myself, I think the next best thing to sliced bread, I would like to propose to the board of IBMC to set up an SME Center of Excellence to make the vision as expressed by Mr. Adnan a reality, onward, forward, and realistic. Congratulations to IBMC, the intelligence of the panelists, the patience of the audience. Let's move on. I think we can afford a quick coffee break, can't we? And have some exercise? Yes, all right. I think it would work so that we could prepare Mr. Benoy in the meanwhile, Advocate Benoy, pardon me, first name basis, and his expertise with the DIFC arbitration and DIFC courts. So a quick exercise and coffee break. See you in exactly 10 minutes flat.
Normal. Normal. Hello, hello. 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 Normal. Hello. എങ്ങനെ എനിക്ക് ഇത്രയും മതി, ഇത്ര നമ്മളിതൊന്നും പറയാൻ വേണ്ടി.
seats, please. We are ready to commence. Thank you. With all due respect to the speakers, to follow mobile phones once again on silent mode. Appreciate. All right, are we ready to close the doors in a few minutes? Is everybody in yet? All right, back to business as usual. We have now the IBMC Corporate Business Sponsorship Program for Indian companies, presented by Advocate Binoy Sasi, international lawyer at the IFC, India High Court, partner of the BINS IBMC International Law and Compliance Center of Excellence. A few words to highlight some of the accomplishments of Advocate Binoy Sasi. Advocate Binoy Sasi enrolled in the Bar Council of Kerala in 2002 and practiced at the Honorable High Courts of Kerala, Chennai, and Bangalore. In 2007, he moved to Dubai and obtained a legal consultancy license from the Dubai Government Legal Affairs Department to practice at the DIFC courts and the Dubai International Arbitration Center. The DIAC, as most of you know, has obviously spurred a lot of momentum in the corporate world by enabling dispute resolution to happen swiftly and thereby enable business to move forward. Since 2011, Advocate Binoy has been volunteering his time as a legal counselor for the Indian Workers Resource Center under the Indian Embassy. He is a pioneer in authoring the book Cyber Laws at the High Court of Kerala in the year 2002. He is a member of the Kerala High Court Advocates Association, the India International ADR Association, and a member of the International Bar Association. Last but not the least, Advocate Binoy Sasi is one among the 4 of international court practicing license holders from Asia. Join me in a round of applause. Thank you.
Good evening. Actually, the legal subject is very dry and it's not so much, get enthusiasm to hear because, this is the watchdog only for the business. So go legally and follow the rules is the only way to protect your money. This is the basic principle of the legal system in the business. Here you know that the investment in UAE, we are more concerned about the investment here, mainly in the mainland, limited liability companies, and also the joint stock companies. Here, all the nationals, means including India, when we are going to invest, there is no option other than to give 51% of the share to the UAE national. So this is the law of the country, but at the same time, the law protects the 100% investment legally. This is the main core of the subject. Now I am going to show the sections and the new amended law of the commercial companies law established in 2015. So for easy, the old law, everybody know that what is the companies law. So I am going to compare the old law and the new law, the changes only. So that easily can understand. That is Federal Law number 2 of 2015 on commercial companies. In the new company law, as per the Article 266, the limited liability companies and joint stock companies are now permitted to be established as a holding companies in order to conduct business activities solely through their relevant subsidiaries. This is the new law amended recently, but old law not permitted this. Another section of Article 22, 24 is a very, very important section because the responsibility of the manager is very high according to the new law. Any of these, obligations that exempting is void. So that, but the old law very limited obligations. So section 22 and 24 is the very important for the persons handling the accounts. Manager means he is the entire, maybe he is the owner or entire subjects. So person responsibility also, now a new law will come if he done any fraud or he will take the company money to a personal account or deviate the money, whatever necessary is come to attach his personal asset also. This is a very crucial and also very important. So it will protect all the investments of the shareholders of the company by the new law. Next one is Article 33 to 38 regarding the register. Here it is very mandatory. There is a register of the companies going to function in the economic department. So the register will supervise and check the records and accounts of the companies by that time. And also according to the 26, every LLC company must, all companies, not only LLC, companies must keep their account for minimum period of 5 years. And also all the accounts must keep the international standards. In the old law it is not compulsory, in the old law there is no register. So all the investments according to the new system is monitored by the register. And also the free zone company, the new law is not applicable to free zone companies, provided if the company is permitted to work outside the onshore, then it will apply. And also the exemptions companies, as per the Article 4, for the government local companies for the power sector, energy, that is not exempted from the new law. This another very, very important section is Article 71 and Article 225. A single person can hold a LLC company. 100% share can be held by an individual, provided the name of the individual must be kept within the name of the company. Here, what is their liability? Investments, that's covered only the company liability. If any liability, if you create more than that, that will go to attach his personal assets. So without a sponsor, one person can open, but this article, actually the law is there, but now it is giving government practically, it is now given to GCC nationals only, but very soon it will come to all persons. Same Article 79. Any doubt? Yes, regarding the LLC formation. LLC formation is to be sold. Sold. Just like as sole proprietor. Exactly. And all over UAE. All over UAE, in the mainland. Either you can be any nationality, but now the practically government is now giving. Is there any support from the Emirati? No need. Emirati can also hold LLC company 100%. Foreigners can also hold 100%. Any person can hold 100% full investment. But now these are practically it is given to GCC. They started to GCC nationals now, first priority. Then later it will come to all. The law already there. Second is section Article 79. The shares, LLC companies are allowed to pledge their shares within the accordance with the company's memorandum or article association and must be notarized. Such pledges must be valid according to the time from the register, commercial register entry. That means there is a register there for the new law. So in the old law, there is no provision to pledge their shares of the LLC company. Now the Article 83 regarding the number of managers. In the old law, there is a maximum limit of 5 managers. Now, new law, there is no limit for the managers. But it must be mentioned in the company memorandum of association, an article of association. Or in the General Assembly, it must be passed and it must be notarized. And also in the 86, regarding same obligation to manager, the new law not permitted manager to go take shares or manage the competitor companies. So it is very strict, new law very strict according to the manager who is holding the company. So manager must be very careful about the management operation of the company is the provisions of the new law. But there is no strict provisions regarding the old law. Now the Article 78, the valuation of share. The valuation of share, before the old law, shareholders can agree for the valuation of the share. But the new law, the valuation must be accepted by approval of DED, the Economic Department, or by a finance consultant approved by the government. So this is the very important turning point of the new company law. And next come to joint stock companies. Joint stock companies, major difference is 30% of the share. Before that, 50% of share is to be a capital should be required for to public offering to take. Now it is reduced to 30%. Secondly, the minimum share capital. The old law it is 10 million, new it is 30 million. For the private, it is old is 2 million, then new is 5 million. This is the major difference of the joint stock companies for the new law. Then another important section is Article 152. It to protect the minority shares. If the company or the management done anything favoring to one shareholder, then the minor shareholder can stop that. According to 164 and also 170. But the minor shareholders, minimum share is 5%. So minor shareholders got maximum rights in the company also. This is the important law for the minor shareholders for the companies. But there is limited protection for the minor shareholders for the old law. Then next, another is appointing auditors. The auditors must rotate for 1 year, and there are the minimum auditors for 3 years. There is a period for 3 years. Each one auditor rotate for 1 year. Then another Article 292, it is takeover regime. Any person or a group of associated persons desiring to act in any way that may lead to the takeover of the shares or securities convertible to stocks in the share capital of a public joint stock company must comply with all resolutions issued by the Securities and Commodities Authority. There is a separate authority. This authority have more power to check and control of this joint stock companies and takeover. There is no provisions in the old law for the takeovers. Then for the corporate governance, there is must be with more than 75 shareholders must need it. And also new bankruptcy law number 9 of 2016 already passed. It gives more protection to the companies if suppose company cannot pay that we will a separate section that we will include later. Then major how we can protect our full investment. This is the important things to be considered. The UAE is maintained by the 3 codes: the Commercial Transaction Code, Civil Transaction Code, and the Civil Procedure Code. This is the pillar of the UAE legal system. So UAE legal system, what is the difference of India and UAE? India is a common law system. That judge made the law. Each judge can decide according to case to case. But here, code made the law. 3 codes is the main pillars of the UAE law. So all the codes must be there. Even if any sub-laws will come, whatever comes, the code remains the code. There is no change in the code. That is why there is a stability in the decisions. So that is why we are more confident in the judiciary of UAE, because by experience, before going to the court, we can tell what is the decision will come. In India, according to the difference of the lawyer's ability, decision will change. First court will say Appeal Court will, Supreme High Court will just revise. Supreme Court will maybe find out another thing, put new one. But here, what the code say, each code must be same. So, every business person who is going to invest money must follow legal steps, legal things. If you go to shortcuts, later you will lose. You will say, oh, you know, from experience, I heard so many comments from the Indians, business persons. When the case, they lose, what they say? They say, judge is local Marathi, advocate is local Marathi, we don't know Arabic. They give judgment favoring to him, we lose the money. So many Indians, clients, come to such comments. You know what is the truth behind it? I will tell you. There is, in the contract, there is English and Arabic. English, everything is very well defined, we understand. In this Arabic, nobody cares. For the shortcuts or not giving to money to lawyers or fees, they will IP center for this Arabic translation. They cut and paste this wording of Arabic. Then they start business. When they come to the court, if English test and Arabic test will clash, Arabic will prevail. If you go to jurisprudence of Arabic, it is based upon the principles of Sharia. Sharia principles is in Arabic word, legal language. One legal word have 5 meanings, 3 meanings. Even if a dot changes the meaning of the word. What the person read our English, correct, sir, this is very correct, but decision is reverse. Decision based upon the Arabic. So this is the actual, this is happening to the Indian business person lose the money here. I said, this is they cheat, I cheat, God it will come to Arabic, everything. So before going to start business, must be go to Arabic legal language. That must be very important. To be by an experienced or qualified lawyer must be to draft. English, nobody cares about English. If you mistake in English, not a problem. But Arabic is important. But our concern is, really, we read English 3-4 times. We make mistakes, correct, and everything will do. Arabic, typing center, get small money, check and finish. So this very important is Article 395. This 395 is the only article in the code protects your money in the UAE. That is why everybody is investing here without blindly. Even 50% share or 100% share ready to give. Why? Because of Article 395. Article 395 is saying, if there is a true contract, one contract is apparent contract, that you go to notary public, in before notary public we sign, as per the law of the country, company law. 15% share to the local US sponsor, 49% share to the person who is investing the full money. After signature, you have to make another agreement. That is called supplementary agreement. That supplementary agreement is saying that the full investment that mentioned in the article so and so in the apparent contract is wrong. Actual money, 100% money invested by the second partner or third partner. And what are the conditions in the contract is superseded by this contract, and we can put what are the conditions according to the code in the supplementary agreement. This supplementary agreement is considered true agreement. This is so court is only considered truth. So when these two agreement clash, the true contract will prevail. There is our investment protection for the legally. So nobody know about the supplementary contracts. They will go in the main contract. Same time, you can ask your sponsor to give power of attorney for it to operate without his signature in the operation of the company, for any visa, for cancellation license, for liquidation, bankruptcy. Then whatever the mentioned in the contract, that must prevail over the apparent contract. That contract, in that section is called 395. This is the code section protect our investment in the UAE. And this are the decisions of the cases. You can, anybody wants to take down, you can note down the decisions based upon this code, judgments passed by Supreme Court of Cassation Court of Dubai. Yes. No, here, no, here depends upon the code. Code is final. Code is final. Yes. That is. Nobody can interpret the law. Code. Anything, investment, full all investment. A supplement agreement saying that full money invested by me. Yes. Supplement agreement, because tomorrow this is a true contract. You can show the proof of the court that the full money invested by me. Then court will follow the 395.
Whether the supplementary contract should be notarized?
No, supplementary contract cannot be notarized. It is a way to witness.
Is it on the case of the general trading company?
All company, any company.
It is applicable
Any company, any company, all.
Whether it is coming under the rule of the central bank, NBIs, NBFCs, and other things?
NBS central bank is separate. That is, there must be 60% of local must be there. That contract must be, I mean, this 390 are applicable there. But same thing, who is the best investor in the company money, that we can put this article there. For example, for a sole establishment, it will come under the UAE national. This UAE national can only sell to the other UAE national. From the UAE national, one foreigners cannot buy. So this is the code. You cannot change the code. Code is the final. But the law is saying that this UAE national can give power of attorney to the Indian national for operating the full business. For that, they can make agreements, this agreement. Because 395 will come. In 395, what we say, all money invested by the foreigner. That is the important thing. Who is the best investor the money?
Is it that the power of attorney or that the secondment agreement is valid forever, or is it needed to be renewed?
No. We have to put a clause that this power of attorney, it cannot be cancelled until the sponsor is remaining a sponsor or he quit the company.
The same case with the Abu Dhabi also.
Every UAE, inter-UAE. Code is by inter-UAE. Inter-UAE.
But the supplementary agreement has to be signed by your sponsor, right?
Supplementary agreement is by the sponsor and the partner by two witnesses. In the court tomorrow you have to prove what is supplementary agreement. If you say that the money invested, the court will ask, where is the proof? You have to prove that this full money is invested by me. Then only the true contract. The truth must be in the supplementary agreement. That is to be proved for the court.
So in any court, we can go and make this.
X.
Whether it is Sharjah court or
Any court. Enter UAE. Any court. Then based upon the agreement and the power of attorney, this is the advantages for the Indians who is making the company. LLC company with the full rights given to the person who is the investing. The automatically renewal, need to contract for the national for renewal because we have the power of attorney. Then capital full 100% we can put in this business. Then the loss and profit to be shared by the, not be shared, to be borne by the national. Then power of attorney, then banking operations funds 100% control. Then mortgage borrow, that is to be 100% we can run. You can change the OEA sponsor, we can put the class that I can change without his permission, return notice. Then that also possible. The maintaining a distribution, 100% by the investor. All assets, properties and everything that we can be goodwill to be keep upon the person. No rights for the legal case. If you want to put a class, we can put the class. Legal case of the UAE national for his death after that. So this is the advantages or the merits of the side agreement, supplementary agreement. Then from the UAE national, the advantages of even if he is 15% partner, he is not liable for in the loss and profit of the company. He has no role in the operation. He will get the annual remuneration agreed upon this contract. Then he had to obtain the UAE documents and hand over to the Indian national. So any questions regarding the matter, I can clear you now.
Can you just tell us a bit about the DIFC code?
Okay, DFC codes. DFC codes, it is based on the common law principle. Common law means entire the world, majority of countries following the common law. Common law means judge made a system, they are not depending on the code. There's two codes, appeal courts and high court. Two courts, so two system. And also there is a small court for small claims below 500,000 dirhams. So there is no need of lawyer there. That you can go and file the case and you can get judgment. For the appeal court and first instance, there must be a lawyer to be present the case before the court.
And how do you think this code can help also the investors?
Exactly, it's a very important question. Actually, very important is the majority of the person invested here from the different parts of the world. The execution of the judgment of Dubai court or GCC courts is not so easy because common law, all countries have common law. If there's any contradiction between the common law and the Sharia law, then this cannot be executed. So majority of the countries following the common law. So if you have contract in DFC and judgment DFC, you can easily execute it in the entire the world. That is the very advantage of the DFC courts. And also secondary, all these days paperless. Within 5 minutes, you can arrest stop a ship by sending email to the Chief Justice. So judiciary become more powerful and more easy. It will come in your mobile. You can mobile. Lawyer can make exactly. Exactly. Millions of dollars they can invest without blindly invest because the law is very fast. Very fast. This is the very advantage means of the international courts. But there's a demerits for these courts, which is judge made the law, common law, not code. So same like India. So first court will say one, second court will maybe just revise everything. So that depends upon the lawyer to lawyer. So this is the demerits of the insert system. Also, this is from my experience, because we are the lawyers, we are advising the clients. Sometimes we can say 100%. This we cannot say 100%. Sometimes it will depend upon the evidence and everything. But the high fast investment is protected. You can execute judgment enter the world within hours.
And there is a common parlance, there is a common standard framework, the language is consistent.
Exactly. English
the common
language,
parlance.
We can understand, we can attend the court. That is an advantage.
It was a big milestone, the setup of the DIFC courts and the arbitration center as well.
Center is.
Can I ask one more question?
Tell me.
If you have a free zone company,
Yes.
there was a law that this free zone company can also trade in the mainland. I mean, this was something which was under discussion.
Now, as a new law, this free zone company can hold the share of the LLC company. No, then they can operate because they are the holder holding the shares of LLC, Dubai.
You have a company in free zone,
Yes.
and now you want to operate in the mainland,
Mainland
a trading business.
trading business.
Can they do that?
No, you have to obtain a trade license for that. Yes. Exactly, trade license. Yes.
And whether your business located in Sharjah, for example, my business is located in Sharjah,
Okay.
can it change the area of jurisdiction of the court
Yes.
from the Sharjah court to DIFC courtification?
Okay.
Is that possible that way? Like in the supplementary agreement.
Yes.
If in the normal agreement that we
No, supplementary agreement will not consider the international. It is a code. It is a code. Code means come to Sharia court only. And if you have got another agreement with another investor or for other party, we can make the agreement with the DFC courts. Anywhere.
If it is the agreement is with another investor, then we can go to
We can with DFC courts. Sponsor cannot, because we had to get to the court. Which chamber, which is that concerned to court only jurisdiction.
Any more questions?
Okay, finished. Okay, thank you.
All right. A round of applause, please, for Advocate Binoy Sassi. Thank you very much. Very spot on. But I'd like to extend a little appreciation, gratitude. Can somebody call the IBMC captains, please? Mr. Sajid Kumar and a board member, or Mr. Anu, please. We must do our protocol. All right, let's get, all right, okay. Please, ceremonies. Cameras, are they rolling? Let me start preparing for the next speaker. In the meanwhile, it's going to be global trend of the maritime sector and opportunities between the Sharjah Emirates and India. Mr. Sohan Roy has extended his apologies for not being present this afternoon, but his session will be presented and represented by Mr. Girish Menon, who is the Managing Director of the Aries Group of Companies. Aries Group of Companies is headquartered in Sharjah. The company was established in 1998 and now operates in 15 countries around the world. With interests in diversified fields like oil and gas, shipping, event management, 3D animation, theatre and film production, the group now has 45 companies in its portfolio. Mr. Menon is a naval architect by profession and has a degree in naval architecture from Cochin University and a master's in marine technology from Newcastle University. He is presently pursuing a doctorate in naval architecture and heads the design and engineering division in the Aries Group. He has been at the forefront of many innovative designs, consultancy works, and organizing events undertaken throughout his 17-year tenure with the Aries Group. A round of applause. Let's get cracking with global trends of the maritime sector and opportunities between Sharjah Emirates and Dubai. Sorry, and India. Forgive me. Microphone, please.
Yeah, got that right now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if I appear a bit hassled since I'm not keeping too well today. I'm presenting on this topic, global trends on the maritime sector. I'm Girish Menon. I'm basically a naval architect by profession and have been here for almost 18 years now in Sharjah, working in the maritime industry with Aries Group of companies, where we are doing marine consultancy and engineering and inspection works as part of the whole Aries Group. Our company is Aries Marine Engineering Services. So we'll just, I have a presentation with a few slides which talks about what are the prospects of the maritime industry and the developments that are taking place right now in India, and what are the investment opportunities that could come out of it. So in the next 20 years, we are expecting a great increase in the import of oil products into South and Southeast Asia, and a huge increase in LNG import that is going to come into India. We'll see why that's going to come in the few of the slides that are coming. Then bulk products like iron ore and coal. India is picking up on its coal power plants and other dry bulk cargoes, and India will be overtaking China as the next biggest coal importer before 2030. And as India's growth will be outpacing China, it has outpaced China, and this will increase the purchasing power of Indian households, and imports into India and trade within India using the maritime sector is going to witness a tremendous growth. And another sector that is right now picking up is the offshore renewable energy sector, which is also actually it's right now in a very nascent stage in India, and which is expected to be picking up over the next decade or so. India has a 7,500 kilometer coastline. That's a big coastline to have, and we'll see in some of the few slides and how grossly underutilized this big coastline is when compared to many of the other coastal countries. How underutilized this is, what small percentage of India's trade is happening through the coastal and inland waterways route. That is why as India grows, this is going to be a huge sector where there will be all-round development and huge investments, which are in the tune of billions of dollars. The Make in India initiative of the government also will be boosting the production sector in India. So what are the government initiatives? First, I think we'll talk about the government's big initiatives that are coming up. Number one is shipbuilding. The Indian government is hugely encouraging shipbuilding under the Make in India scheme. Shipyards like Cochin Shipyard and Musgon Dock, they are bound to get a lot of government orders and incentives to make these ships in India, in order to shift the center of gravity of the shipbuilding, which is right now in Far East, which is basically in China, Korea, and Japan. Inland waterways, that's another big area which can have developments. We have 6 inland national waterways, out of which 3 are actually operational. That's a pathetic situation actually for a country like India. We'll see where those developments are going to come. Coastal and cruise shipping, specialized cargo handling, port mechanization. Under the Sagamala project of Government of India, there's going to be numerous ports which are going to be developed throughout India's coastline. So obviously that will involve a lot of mechanization requirements of the ports. Of course, ease of doing business, that will give incentives for companies to start setting up. Liberal licensing regimes for defense and shipbuilding, that's already in play, and you can see many such investments taking place in the past couple of years. And of course the Sagamala project which I was talking about. This is the Sagamala project of the government. 14 coastal economic zones along India's coasts aligned to the manufacturing industry's needs. Basically, right now a lot of transportation in India of materials is taking place using the land route. What the government intends to set up is the huge list of ports. From Mundra on the Gujarat coast to Kolkata. So that's the number of 14 different coastal economic zones which is going to be developed. And all these ports are small and big are going to be developed. So you can see that the investments that is being expected is to the tune of 50 billion USD. More government initiatives, the defense items, more FDI sectors, greenfield ports being developed, conditional cabotage relaxations. So all these are going to be incentives from the government to move ahead. This is once again the coastal and inland waterways developments that are expected. One is the Sagamala, which I just said. 150 plus projects have been identified for this by the government already. 50 billion USD is the infrastructure investment that is expected. 6 new mega ports. Those will be the big ports, and a big veritable string of small ports across throughout India's coast. And what about the waterways? The inland waterways, there is 14,500 kilometers of India's waterways that is bound to be developed. And for a country with, like India, to have just those three major waterways, which is the Ganges River and the Brahmaputra, that is a national waterway 2, and number 3, which is in Kerala from Kollam, Kottapuram. These are the 3 national waterways which are actually fully operational. And there are 3 more waterways which are in different phases of developments, are not completely developed. All these are going to kick in over the next few years, which is investments to the tune of close to 19 billion have been expected in this. 4 times increase tonnage of cargo is supposed to be carried within these waterways. 65 million tons of cargo is right now moved through India's inland waterways. But what is that 65 million tons? It's just 0.1% of the total inland traffic in ton kilometers. 0.1%. A comparable figure is 21% in the US. Only 3% of passengers goods traffic of India's coastal region is going through the coastal or inland waterways, which is 47% in China, 44% in Korea, 40 plus in European countries. So that's 3% is nothing. And for a growing country like India, we can all see where this is going to be a huge area where developments can take place, which is why that US dollar 19 billion investment is going to take place. Those were regarding the big government proposals. There are a few special proposals which we as Aries Group has worked on and found tremendous interest from various investors. A few which I am talking about here are marina development, steel snake boat races, LNG propelled houseboats or inland vessels, maritime academy, the Vizhinjam port infrastructure support, ship recycling, which is decommissioning of existing ships, and maritime equipment handling. First, we'll go to the marina proposal, which is actually a very billion-dollar market which India is right now missing out. India does not have even a single world-class marina to its name. We always hear about a lot of Indians, millionaires, billionaires being in Forbes list, world's richest list and all that. So there are quite a few Indians who earn in the millions, but do they have yachts? All these billionaires who have yachts park their yachts either in Dubai or in one of the European countries. Why? Because there is no world-class infrastructure in India to develop, to handle these yachts and to park those yachts, to manage those yachts. So this is a huge development, huge area where there is very big prospect of development. What is the requirement to have a marina? You just need to have a seaport nearby, airports nearby, highways nearby, and sufficient water depth. All of these are available in almost all the coastal areas of India. Why in India? Because right now, due to various financial problems that are there everywhere, people prefer to have new marinas, lower cost areas, and closer to tourist destinations. On an average, a minimum $1,000 per month, as per our study, will flow from each yacht that is there in a marina. Even with 10% of the yachts coming to India, it is going to be $1 billion market. The climate, of course, India has very good climate throughout 365 days, medical support, cheap living costs, all these will attract the people with yachts towards, as long as there is a good marina to be there. And of course, it has to be close to the tourism circuits, maybe Kerala, Goa, somewhere like that. If it's developed, Kerala backwaters is the best place because of its secluded location and natural protection. It's not directly open to the sea and to the winds and the climate. Geographically, from our studies, we found Kerala is the ideal place for this. Proper marinas, these don't create in environmental issues because the marinas are not created with huge concrete structures. They are all using floating structures and which can be environmentally degradable structures can be used. Properties investments in marina, this will bring a lot of foreign investments, development of the surrounding areas, job opportunities, and if yachts are there, of course you will require yacht equipment, spare parts trading, yacht repair facilities have to come up. We just need to look around Dubai where all the yacht marinas are there. Such a lot of supporting industries are coming up around it. Surveys, certification, insurance supports, all these, and better demand for waterfront properties. Yacht owners, according to our study, there are over 10,000 potential owners, yacht owners in India. Very strong NRI client base is there. Identification through various clubs, luxury car dealers, references to make them aware about yachting. Offshore trips, onboard yachts. These are prestige symbols actually. Right now we can see that in India a car could be one of the most biggest prestige symbol. A yacht is what should be in the future. Waterfront resorts can be developed. If these, as long as the marinas are there, all these things will come along with it. If the marinas are there, the people owning the yachts will, of course, travel to India. That will lead to developments into the waterfront resorts and yacht clubs, which are also tremendous investment opportunities. Tourists, yacht tourists, super mega yachts bring in the billionaires. Identify them, invite them, tour plans, entertainments, press meets, investment meets. All these are we had conducted Boat India. That was a huge forum or a conference conducted towards targeting these yacht people. That was in around 7-8 years back, and there was tremendous interest towards development of yachts and marinas in Cochin. Sporting yachts, we all know about the Volvo Ocean Race. Each of the yacht owners spend around $100 million to compete in 8 million for the 8 months for the prize money. So if such competitions are based out of India's marinas, these are going to have tremendous impact on the tourism industry also. The next one, the snake boat. The snake boat is typical of in the southern state of Kerala. These have a length of around 100 to 138 feet and carry around 100 people on it. And the races involving these snake boats have a tremendous impact on in the community there, and there is big interest in developing it as a professional sport instead of being the traditional sport that right now it is. So how can such a snake boat race be conducted? Right now the races being conducted are in a traditional manner and wooden boats. So they are not common. Each of the boats that are in the race are not having a common length. They are of different lengths. The number of people differ. So that does not call for a proper race of equal terms. So that is where, in order to make a commercial steel snake boat race on a professional scale, this has to be done. First of all, the boats have to be all have to be of equal standards. They have to be built to some sort of standard specifications. Once these are done, this is what it can develop it into 50,000 to 200,000 extra visitors with an annual increase of 30%. This will give an all-around development of the whole area near Alleppey where the snake boat races are being held. It can be conducted as an international event with Sports Council accreditation and with teams to the like of, just like we do have Premier Leagues with branding slots for corporates and for boat and the team names. These are the developments that are possible in this area. What are the benefits? Huge direct and indirect revenue generation, branding potentials, tourist opportunities, media attraction, professional rowers, identification of young talents, and it can be a totally pollution-free event too. various revenue models which we have worked out over the past through various studies. This give a very good picture to us that this is something that can be with tremendous potential. Houseboat. We all have seen houseboats in the Kerala backwaters. These are around 1,000 houseboats are there right now in the Alapi backwaters in Kerala. Right now, all of these are diesel propelled and causing causing tremendous ecological impact. There is such a lot of oil leakage and wastage happening on the backwaters, and when all these houseboats are parked, we can see how much diesel and how much oil is being spilt into the water from all these boats. So we have a proposal about converting these into LNG propelled steel houseboats. The first steel houseboat built in Kerala was through our group. That was in 2005. And since then, there are more than 500 steel houseboats. Steel houseboats are environmentally more friendly, and they have, right now they are built with diesel engines, but the proposal is to convert them to LNG and diesel dual fuel. We have a huge LNG terminal right now in Cochin, which is operating to 5% of its full capacity, because there is no way that the LNG can be distributed throughout Kerala, because there is nobody to use the LNG. Just 5% of the tankage is being used in Cochin. So once the conversion into LNG takes place, there will be more and more usage of LNG, which will also increase the utilization of the Petronet LNG terminal. So the present discussions that we are carrying out along with Petronet and GAIL, which points to a very good prospect of converting these steel houseboats into LNG propelled ones. The next one is a maritime training academy in the likes of EMA, Emirates International Maritime Academy, we have here in Dubai. That's a maritime training academy set up with the Dubai government's support. Iris Group was managing the EMA for over 2 years. So what we have seen is that there is a huge gap between the institutes and the industry. There are a lot of academic institutes which give training, which give degrees, but they do not have any connect with the industry. So this is what we intend to bridge. The interaction between the industry and the institutes are to be brought in. Industry, institutes, interaction. How can this be done? This is through visual media based live training, e-learning, tuition theaters. I'll show you a sample of a tuition theater which we have designed. I think, yeah, that's in the background actually. The feature of a theater classroom, it has a 7.1 audio surround system, high definition projection, ambience, seating capacity, video recording facility. So the classrooms of the future are no longer going to be classrooms where the professor talks and the students listen and write notes. These are going to be video based classrooms with theater facility. There is a normal talk that we normally say. You all have seen the movie of Titanic. To read the script of Titanic, it may take 10 days and nothing would go in our heads. But if you see the movie in 3 hours, you understand what all is happening. Why is that? That is the impact of the movie, impact of the visual media. So that is what we intend to bring in the classroom, in the theater classroom. The next one is the Vizhinjam port. It's a mega transshipment hub right now being developed close to Thiruvananthapuram. Once a transshipment hub, a huge container port comes in, all the supporting facilities have to be there. Right now, that's a big zero, because it's being developed in a virgin area, a complete greenfield area, which does not have any supporting ship-related industries. So once that port comes in and develops there, all the related projects will have tremendous value. What about a container stack yard, freight stations, floating crafts, communication systems, yard equipments, rail, road linkages, terminals, and all the supporting services, surveys, and equipments? All these will have a requirement near to the container port. So this is going to be another development, prospective investment possibility coming up. Ship recycling, more than 80% of world's ships are recycled in South Asia. It could be in India, it could be in Bangladesh or in Pakistan. But what is happening now is that the Hong Kong Convention has right now specifies that you have to do it in a, you have to have a green way of recycling those ships. So earlier it used to be, the ships used to be just brought to the coast, just pulled inside, and just people go with hammer and just break it down. There was no safety, no security concerns, nothing was being taken care of till at least around 3-4 years back. But right now, under the Hong Kong Convention, all the big ship owners are required to dismantle or recycle their ships only in a very safe manner and environmental friendly manner. So it's in the ship owners' interest to ensure that there are enough ship recycling yards and with very good safety features. So right now, India is at the forefront of developing this in South Asia. The biggest ship recycling yard in India is in Alang Marine, which is in Gujarat, and what it was 10 years back and what it is right now is actually worth a watch. In the past 3-4 years, there have been such good developments, and a lot of yards have come in with very good safety features, very good environmental friendly way of doing the ship recycling, so which is attracting more and more European ship owners towards recycling in India and getting it done in a safe way. Number of ships that require recycling. Just look at the numbers. These are 2,600 ships will require recycling over the next 4-5 years. So with such a number of ships, out of this 80% will come to South Asia. And out of that, more than 50% should come to India, because right now the developments as per Hong Kong Convention is taking place only in the Indian shipbreaking market. What are the opportunities? Banks don't consider ship recycling as a sort of liquid asset, just like commodity trading or something like that. So right now, what we are saying is that ship recycling, they are very liquid assets, generally being sold within just 30 days of acquisition. Cash buyers function as commodity traders, and they specialize in a unique form of scrap steel. The industry turnover estimated is $6 billion US. Opportunities in green ship recycling, many items which I covered in this. Marine equipment manufacturing under Make in India, there are quite a few equipment manufacturing possibilities towards the marine industry. When all these ports and container ports, all these develop, this is also something that will require development. Indigenization. There exists a 50 to 70% gap in equipment and systems. These are also tremendous opportunities for indigenization. What are those equipments? Propulsion, auxiliary equipments, electrical, electronic, submarine equipment systems. These are all defense equipment manufacturing. Under Make in India, LNG carriers, LNG fueled barges, shallow water vessels, river sea vessels, roll-on, roll-off vessels. All these are ships which can be made in India, and there are existing. And then we come to marine cities, which we are promoting under Project Indiewood. This is a $10 billion US project. It is a consortium of 2,000 Indian corporate firms and multi-millionaires, conceptualized by Sohan Roy, our CEO, to initiate a 10 billion investments by a consortium. This is for the movie industry, and along with that, we are catering it to the maritime community also through the Maritime City, which we are planning along with the Project Indiewood. The Indiewood Film Carnival, which is being held in Hyderabad, in Ramoji Film City, the world's largest film city, from December 1 to 4. Here, we are showcasing a maritime city, a marine city, a place for all the maritime community to live, work, and develop together. that is being showcased at this Indiewood Film Carnival in December 1 to 4. So it's an open invitation to everybody here to please attend the event too. And I'll just conclude. I think I am being shown signals to just close down my presentation. What did we talk about? Government's infrastructure projects. There were multi-billion-dollar projects like Sagamala and the inland waterways projects, 50 plus 19. We are talking about 70 billion US dollar government projects. Marinas, steel snake boat race, LNG propulsion, maritime academies, the port infrastructure, recycling, and equipment manufacturing. All these are the avenues for development of the maritime sector in India and prospects for investment. And Indiewood 2017 would give an avenue to explore these further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Girish Menon. Very interesting. I mean, an interesting coastline that has rarely never been tapped. Imagine the amount of fisheries, exports, business, lifestyle, alfresco dining, you know, it's like a Mediterranean resort.
Yeah,
Let's hope we can make it happen.
The main thing is that it is unexplored. I'm looking at it, I've been in this industry for so long, I can't just believe that it is such an unexplored market, and that too in India, which is a fast developing country.
Absolutely. Any questions? Let's have 2 quick questions. Microphones, please.
I would just like to ask a simple question which is related with the backwater. I have been to this backwater recently, maybe during my last vacation, and as you rightly said, there are a lot of spillovers of oils. And when you look at the water, I mean, your eyes will get tears out of it, yeah, because you are destroying the nature. And these people make a hell lot of money out of this tourism. What is the government of India, or what is the state as Kerala doing that this should be completely stopped and the nature has to be preserved?
There are rules and regulations. There is Kerala Inland Water Regulator Act is there. You are not allowed to dump sewage. You are supposed to have sewage treatment plants. You are supposed to have all these anti-spilling things, but nothing happens. If you see where the boats are parked, when all these hundreds of boats are parked after their day trips, that is where you can see the whole lot of spillages. It is right now, it's not being considered properly by the government. The seriousness of it is not being acted upon. There are no inspections carried out. Yearly you need to get an inspection done, but after that nobody checks whether an oil spill is from this vessel or that vessel. So which is why one of the proposals that we are bringing in is to have the LNG propulsion, which will reduce the quantity of diesel that is being used. And that is one way. Another way is solar boats. We must have recently heard about solar boats right now being commissioned in the backwaters. That's also something that the government is actively promoting, to have solar boats. But of course, having solar power in a state like Kerala has its own limitations.
But when you talk about LNG, you as a company and you working for the last 17 years in this organization, why don't you give a proposal to the government that it has to be mandatory like it has to be LNG? It cannot be diesel.
You can't do that. There is such a lot of investment requirements on that. We give that, and I cannot walk through the streets of Arapi from tomorrow onwards. The boat owners will be after me. So this has to,
No,
first of all,
these are minority communities.
see, it's not enough that we say convert everything to LNG. You have to
Like
make LNG
there
available.
There are cities which has been converted completely to LNG, right?
You have to make it available.
Yes.
Now the boat owner in Alapi does not have access to the LNG fuel.
You told it is available in Cochin.
It's available in Cochin, but there are not enough units in Alapi to transport this to Alapi and then regasify it and supply to the
I
boats.
think this discussion can go on for hours.
So the infrastructure development, when it takes place, right now the government is putting a lot of emphasis on the infrastructure development, of developing the pipelines and developing the infrastructure. Once that is done, these can come in. The proposal that we have submitted is now along with GAIL and Petronet, and because that is how only it will work. We can't just say that the boat can be converted. We also need GAIL's and Petronet's input there to make sure the supply is also available. At some point, it will be coming in. So we have to do the first one, which is what we are doing on our own houseboat. We are converting it to LNG propulsion. So once that is done, it will be an example for others to follow.
Next question, please. Yes, microphone.
I just want to ask you a question. Now, you said about parking of yachts and boats inland. Are there any particular regulations or rules set, or are they just developing the new rules and regulations for this? Because it's a new area where, I mean, in Kerala and all, I don't think so you have much yachts or big boats over there for parking. So is there any particular rules already set down for this?
See, rules for parking the boats?
Yes. Big boats, yachts and all. I mean, if you want to start a facility like this, how easy is it to start up with, I mean, with the government regulations and all?
Right now, it's just development of marinas that are required for the boats to come in. Right now, the boats can come in. There are no issues, but where will you park it? You need to have the, marinas developed just like we see here in Dubai. So that is purely a sort of, and these marinas, they are not concrete constructions which will destroy the ecology of the area also. The marinas can be constructed with a few floating, most of the marinas that you can see are floating marinas with just some of the piles being actually anchored into the bottom. So getting approvals for development of these marinas is not a difficult task.
But is there any area restrictions or anything like that? I mean,
there are no restrictions for developing this. As long as you have the depth, you can bring the boats in. And if you have the marinas developed, certainly the boats will come along with it.
Now, if you have foreign boats coming in, is there any problem with the customs or immigrations or anything like that? Because when you have foreigners, mostly, I mean, if you're targeting the foreigners, they'll be bringing in the yachts and boats and they will be coming inland. So will they have any problems with the immigration, customs or anything like that?
That has to go in along with it. The boats that are coming in, the immigration, all these things have to be developed along with it. Only that right now the cruise vessels are coming to Cochin port. So these are also bringing in the this thing. So where do they do the immigration? They do at there is a cruise terminal where this is done. So when such big marinas are developed, that also has to come along with it. Otherwise, they have to go to the main port, get the immigration formalities done, and then bring the boat into the backwaters area.
Thank you.
Shall we take a quick last question?
Hi, my name is Arun. I come from the hospitality and tourism industry. Just wanted to add on to the cruise liner. As I understand, there were 44 cruise liners that called on the Cochin port in 2013-14, which dropped to about 36 in 14-15, and which went up to 47 in 15-16. Now, there is a huge market for the cruise liners, foreign cruise liners calling into the Kerala coastline. Apart from Cochin, you don't have any other cruise terminal in Kerala, as I know. Would you be looking forward to developing cruise liner docking and ferry services to the other cities in Kerala, whereby developing international cruise line tourism and the ever-developing, which is at about 33% per annum, which is the domestic tourism in India, which is fast growing. And also, you don't have a cruise liner development, a cruise liner operating or cruise liner running company in India at all. So would you be looking at something like the Caribbean cruises where a trans-India cruise liner facility is being developed?
Right now, we don't have the infrastructure in India for these cruise, to develop the cruise industry to the scale that you are talking about. See, right now, Cochin is the only port that can take in these huge cruise vessels. For the cruise vessels to come in, you need the big ports.
That's what I was actually just trying to ask you. In a lot of Caribbean islands, as you know, the vessels don't call onto the island they actually go about 4 or 5 knots out in the sea, and then you have a ferry taking the tourists in and out. So could you consider that? Could you take it as a proposal?
The problem is that for our area, the sea is not as calm. So having that's something that needs to be studied. The cruise ships being anchored at anchorages and having regular boat services, which is ferrying passengers in and out.
Yeah, just to add on one more thing, that because earlier days, the northern parts of Kerala had piers stretching out into the sea, which is a lot many are damaged by now. But you had piers stretching out into the sea, and then there are things coming from the outer ocean.
That's not sufficient for the huge cruise ships. And it's also that Kerala or Cochin, just one cruise terminal being there does not give it an advantage. You need to have a string of areas where you can access. So
Thank you.
Only then the tourists will come in.
Thank you.
Any more questions before we move on? Right, I suppose that's it. We could give you a break, but please stay there. We'd like to honor you for your time with a gesture of appreciation. Mr. Sajid Kumar, please, may you come forward to present a token of gratitude to Mr. Girish Menon. Thank you. Let us press on in the meanwhile to Dr. Sunal Kumar, research scientist of Mahiko, Hyderabad. He will talk about agricultural sector business possibilities in the United Arab Emirates, industry research and case studies. Dr. Sunal Kumar, would you kindly come forward to be mic'd up in the meanwhile? Thank you. A few words about Dr. Sunal's experiences. He is a thorough agricultural scientist, a plant breeder, presently working as a research scientist in rice breeding with Maharashtra Hybrid Seeds Company Private Limited, Mahiko in Hyderabad, India. As an agricultural research scientist and senior managerial professional with 12 plus years experience in commercial breeding across the seed industry, Sunal has demonstrated techno-scientific competencies across various projects related to germplasm maintenance, commercial hybrid breeding, and line development of agricultural crops. As most of you will recall, during the morning session and in the afternoon, we laid high importance to agricultural possibilities within India-UAE corridor with specific reference to the Emirates of Sharjah. Sunal has published over 25 research papers. As an agricultural scientist, his objective now is to improve the quality and sustainability, both environmental and economic, of life on Earth by developing plants that fit better into the natural world and produce more with less. Please join me with a round of applause to welcome Dr. Sunal Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the word of appreciation. I thank IBMC and Sajid Kumar and his crew for giving me this opportunity to present here. Basically, my line of work is more into research as a research scientist, but here I will present few agricultural possibilities that UAE can look into for their agriculture sector. Well, starting with, we all know the population boom. By 2050, it's been said that almost 80% of the people will be living in cities, and FAO has already estimated that by 2050, we may need at least 70% more food for feeding all the growing population. And it's said to be like we need to grow additional 3 billion tons of cereals by 2050, and from today it's nearly 2.1 billion tons. So it's just an overview of what the current situation and what we are looking into like to 2050. And we all know that most of the production or agriculture crop production activities in Asia, Southeast Asia, and some in US, and we know that year by year or maybe second by second, arable lands is being reduced, but production we need to scale up. And one of the key requirement for any food production is water. And there are few stats saying that producing 1 kg of wheat requires almost 1,000 liters of water, and rice 3 times of wheat. And for each liter of biofuel, it requires almost 2.5 k liters of water. These are all the UNESCO statistics, and we may need almost 400% more water for producing by 2050. And ongoing, the food availability depends on increasing the irrigation efficiencies, where a lot of like what we can say is like as the crop production is scaling up, the irrigation what we can say is scarcity of water. So the irrigation efficiency need to be increased. So on this background, I will just touch up with the agriculture industry with UAE's perspective. As per the EIU, UAE has ranked as second most secure economy in the region after Kuwait, and it is ranked almost around 30th in 109 countries. But UAE has overall score weakened due to the high volatility of agricultural production. The main reason is water. UAE has scarcity of water, and then arable land. As we all know, we don't have much arable land or minimal arable land for any crop production to meet our UAE's requirements. So there are 3 major scenarios which for food acquisition in UAE. One is importing, that it's said to be almost 70% of the food requirement is being imported from outside UAE. Then, or they invest outside UAE, like India, Sudan, Vietnam, Pakistan, and then import the produce to UAE market. And or the third option is focus more on growing its own food, which I will be touching up more. What are all the scopes UAE can adopt to scale up their requirement in food or agriculture crop production. When we talk about crop production, first thing comes up is food security, and said that there are 3 pillars of food security. One is the food availability. That means you should have a adequate available food on constant basis to all public. Then food accessibility. Appropriate and better quality food should be accessible to all. Then judicious use of food, and nutritious food. So basically with the 3 pillars, there are 4 dimensions of that. One is availability, as I've told, because there is, as UAE's perspective, we have less domestic production. So our import capacity, UAE's import capacity has to be increased. Food stocks has to come up. There can be some food aids, Access like poverty, purchasing power, transport, then food distribution systems. Stability, of course, weather is one of the key factor in any crop production. Now we are seemingly hearing about climate change. We have adverse climatic conditions. Every year, season by season, it is been reducing or maybe fluctuating amount, so that we expect a time, this time, this kind of production or this much production, we may not be able to meet that. Then utilization like food safety, quality standards, we should have clean water, then health and sanitation. It all comes in good quality food. And UAE has taken few steps, or maybe I can say like commendable steps towards food security. Because as we know, UAE has limitations in agriculture production. One is due to its water scarcity, and second one is the cultivable land, and it is not able to produce enough food and the quantity they require to meet the requirements. As UAE's food security strategies in 2010, UAE has established a food security center in Abu Dhabi. And for meeting its self-sufficiency strategy, UAE has invested a lot in agriculture sector by developing or using more technology for improving the land and then also water management. And also it has been looking into international agriculture investments, that investing on other locations outside UAE for crop production, then as I said, importing back to UAE to require or to meet the requirement of UAE. So as UAE and as global, there are some future food demands. One is due to the main determining points are due to the population growth. Second is we need to increase due to the increasing incomes. We have diverse diets, then especially in livestock feeds, biofuels, then climate change disasters. And as per FAO, by 2050, as I said, at least we should increase by 70% to but some estimates always it's saying that more than 100% means 100% improvement should be there in the food production aspects. To meet all the requirement or the booming requirement for food production, crop production as food to increase our food supplies and food security, what will be the solutions what we want to look into? How do we revolutionize our food systems? Do we have a new kind of farming techniques which could help us to meet the requirements? One such concept is urban farming. We all know kindergartens. It has been now, I think most of the major Indian cities, people are doing a lot of kitchen gardening like activities. So government is also encouraging them to meet your daily vegetable requirements by growing kitchen garden sort of things. Same way, there are in Hong Kong and New York, they have developed urban farming facilities. That means like where you are doing lawnings, use that area for growing new crops or vegetable crops. That will be useful for your requirement. That will meet your requirements. Second aspect is vertical farming. I will touch up what we exactly mean by vertical farming. Vertical farming is nothing like you go on terrace. Previously we know terrace farming. Now it's like a structure will be made. You on verticals. Previously means no land. Maybe it's said that even 9 hectare of land crop production can meet in just 0.5 hectare of vertical farms. So we are not going like horizontal, we go verticals for crop production. Another concept is sky farming. Sky farming is like, you can see, skyscrapers. These two are concepts which is not yet realized. It's still in developing phase. But one, this living skyscraper as one is from SAO Architects. Their concept is basically farming in skyscrapers. It will coexist with the farm offices. It will coexist with the malls. All the requirements, whatever we for the malls or whatever daily requirements, that could meet with these skyscraper like Skyfarm. Another, I can say like another aspect of this is recycling of your resources, like water can be recycled, then you can put windmills to meet your electrical requirements. So those are all concepts which is part and parcel with this sky farming. Just give you a background of what is vertical farming. Vertical farming and sky farming more or less similar, but vertical farming and sky farming is like skyscrapers, maybe 20, 30 story, but vertical farming is maybe a 4 story farming. Vertical farming has been coined way back in 1915, but it has been revolutionized, or sky farming has come by the ecologist Dixon, Dr. Dixon. So he has said that vertical farming with environmental modifications and like we go vertical through sky farming, it can meet the requirement of growing population. This is the few pictorial depiction or descriptions of this vertical farming. It's like you go on stacks, whatever vegetables or leafy vegetables or any vegetables you can grow on stacks. As per your requirement, you can harvest it later on. Later on, you can resow it and then use. And it can be semi-automatic, fully mechanized way of farming, and 100% climate control. This is the vertical stacking, what I have been saying. Like on top, you put wind farms for meeting your electric requirements. You have a roof garden. You have like what we can say is like you have a boutique, dairy facilities there. You have crop production facilities there, all meeting in one what I can say one verticals. Everything can include in one vertical. While concentrating mostly on urban farming, sky farming, or vertical farming, there are 2-3 technologies which can go along with that. One is organic. As we all know, we are more health conscious, and we prefer organic products than any traditional producers. And lot of countries are promoting organic type of cultivations. Second one is aeroponics. Aeroponics and third one is hydroponics. Aeroponics is nothing, soilless growing technology, where you pump nutrient molecules through air, and the root zones, the roots will capture and meet the requirement of the plants to grow. And I said, second is hydroponics. This is another technology. Both hydroponics and aeroponics can also be combined for doing the farming, like vertical farming or skyscrapers, whatever is possible. Basic idea is absence of soil. It needs essential nutrients, whatever is being provided, and it can be computer controlled also, like which time you need irrigation, which time fertigation has to be. Fertigation is nothing but giving fertilizers to the plants. So which time you have to do the fertigation. So those can also be controlled through computer with the touch of your mobiles. Like you have n number of technologies available for high-tech cultivation. You just need to look into that, and whatever as per the requirements, we can adopt that. These are all some few drivers and competitive landscapes for global vertical farmings with the increased, this has been talking like due to the increased population, we need to look into advanced technologies for crop productions. And in vertical farmings, there are a lot of players are there in all over world. And some key players I have mentioned is Deere Company, then Farm, Aero Farms. Aero Farms are basically into aeroponic cultivations. Then Sky Greens. Sky Greens is one of the company which has a commercial vertical farm facility. These are the successful, which is in commercial utilized. One is the Sky Green project in Singapore. It is a 4-storied automated structure, and it's like Ferris wheels, lowing rotation wise. I will show you the pictorial depiction of this. Then another is New York Highline project. Third one is now people more than crop production or food meeting your food requirement. Now people are looking into plant-based vaccine production also. And Tokyo is one of the Congo designs. Because for any new technologies like sky farming or vertical farming, you need a correct architectural background to meet your requirements. And there are a lot of designs available across, means if you search, you just need to tap on vertical farming. You will get a lot of information on net. Everything came from net. So this is Sky Green Singapore. You see it's on vertical stacks, and it is greenhouse based because, and UAE requires that. I think in UAE there are many farms which is doing crop production, and maybe when we don't have arable lands, we have greenhouses built, and you can do, even in a small area, you can do maximum production. It's like, it is based on greenhouse-based technology. It is the first low-carbon, hydraulic-driven vertical farm. And they basically grow tropical leafy vegetables. And it's an aluminum-based trough, aluminum frame. The structure is all aluminum. And it's a trough-based, and soilless on aeroponics and hydroponics. And it has the irrigation with flooding, that is hydroponics. And it is one of the first commercial used vertical farming structure. Second one is Green Spirit Farms in Michigan, USA. Here you see it is a fully automated, and it's a controlled environment and use of renewable energies. It's based on hydroponics technology. There they are growing fruits and vegetables. They grow local fresh fruit, and it is also commercially installed. Just to summarize, when we talk about new technologies, there are some positives and there are some negatives. Positives, of course, few listed like reducing farmland, grow whatever you want, you have recyclable, you have renewable energies, then know your food, means it's your preference, you need to be organic, pesticides or chemical free, you can grow like that. Then reconnect with the nature, then it's more affordable. That's a little bit question mark, because one of the key minus point is its initial installation is because of fully automated, or it's a bit more than the normal greenhouse type of cultivation. But after that, if you look into its NPAs and all, then maybe it may be affordable. Then it will reduce agriculture contamination, because chemical farming, it is one of the key, one among the key factors which degraded our cultivable land. Then there will be less pressure on the rural farms. It's in urban areas, you can put greenhouse facilities and sky farming, vertical farming. It will meet your requirements. And the minus points, of course, is one of the is cost. It's more initial cost is a higher level. But vegetables, of leafy vegetables and all, we can build, but when it comes to field crops, rice, wheat, the technology may not be that much suitable, because it needs a lot of area. I don't think hydroponics and aeroponics, as per now, it is not feasible for growing rice or wheat or bajra or sorghum, maize. Vegetables, of course, you can grow. Then another concept is black water. Use of black water is not sluggish water, your wastage water, because this is vertical farming and sky farming. It's like renewable energy or renewable. You can reuse your resources. Whatever is unutilized fertile means water, it can be recycled. So along with that, there will be a little bit sludges and all. So using that in your farming, some people may not be preferring that type of producers. Another two is like social acceptance. Because it's a new concept. Traditional farmers, if we tell them, they will not accept it now. Maybe later on they may, but due to the initial costs and all, they may not be accepting it. And lastly, is like survival for rural farmers. Yeah, it's a high-tech farming. Rural farmers will, their jobs are lost by high-tech farming. So it's just a concept-wise, but you should look into more positives than negatives. Sorry. I think That's what I just want to touch up some technologies and all. These are all few what we can say is few terms which will come across in agriculture, vegetable, and future farming technologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sanal Kumar. It was very insightful. Should we take a couple of quick questions, please? And then we have a quick break, and then we have the industry panel discussion. And then we'll proceed with the evening proceedings where the chairman of the IBMC will be present, and there will be some important business and MOU announcements. So let's have a couple of questions, please. Very interesting on food security, vertical farming. There's a lot to be said and discussed.
Yeah.
Ayurvedic and Natural Medicine Center in Sharjah. I would like to know, you spoke about vertical farming and other modern concepts in farming.
Yeah.
Is there any place where we can take up training, in these new concepts in farming? Is there any place in India or abroad where we can take up training in new concepts of farming like this?
Training as such, I don't know, but most maybe I need to look into that. But there may be available. It's not because most of the farming technologies and all are developed from universities and all.
Okay.
So there may be some institutes. Maybe I can come back on that.
Okay. What I'm looking for is if we send some staff for these trainings, and they can be utilized for improvement in natural farming and other concepts.
Yes, yes.
So,
yes.
Okay.
Natural farming, traditional farming, you have a lot of institutes.
Yeah.
Any horticulture institutes you can approach.
Okay.
But new techniques like vertical farming, skyscrapers means sky farming is nothing like vertical farming.
Okay.
Just like you need to know the technology of aeroponics, hydroponics, how it works and all.
Okay.
And maybe these Singapore-based companies, US-based companies, they may, if you approach them, they may allow you to look into your programs. There are lot many companies like Aerofarms is one of the company who is solely looking into aeroponic farming. So like that, companies are there. If you approach them, they may accept, and maybe you can go them. They will show you how it is done. And basic trainings, of course, you can approach any universities. They will have a crop production aspects of training.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
And also one more question. This soilless agriculture that you spoke about.
Yes.
So what type of nutrients do you give for such plants? What is the basic nutrients that will be mixed in water or water medium for the plants?
It's basically for normal urea and MOPs and all, that may not work because it has a specific designed, because these are all sprayed nutrients. So you have separate set of nutrients because the fertilizers which soil application is different, aeroponics or hydroponics are different. You have different classes of nutrients available.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I suppose no more questions, but I'd like to make a very special announcement. Please join me to welcome a distinguished guest, His Excellency Mr. Khalid Rashid Said Shehi from Ras Al Khaimah. A round of applause for His Excellency Mr. Khalid Rashid Said Sheikh from Ras Al Khaimah. We will be discussing the opportunities in Ras Al Khaimah as part of the UAE India Business Fest in November. So we very much look forward to the Ras Al Khaimah segment of this roadshow. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being present this afternoon. All right, that takes us for some networking and a coffee break, and I see you in 10 minutes, please. Thank you.